title, Computer Graphics, second class in 2D. So today's lab exercise requirement gonna be your Photoshop and Prezi-based design presentation. Actually not design presentation, your dream. Title, My Dream, made by Prezi, using your Photoshop images and some more text, okay? So what you need to submit today is not Photoshop file, images, just upload your URL, shortcut file for accessing your Prezi. So this page is going to be reviewed again for the lab exercise. But before handling this kind of technical things, we're going to review some fundamentals and theoretical aspect of graphics design. I don't mention computer graphics design because, especially in 2D, you need to take care of what kind of components we have to deal with when we are doing some 2D based design presentation. What kind of design? Of course, that's interior architecture design. So design presentation proposed 2D computer graphics work is our major topic today. Especially, I would like to show you some fundamental approaches and some theoretical background we have to know before dealing with some 2D computer software such as Photoshop, okay? So in lab exercise hours, I'm gonna show you kind of one by one instruction using Adobe Photoshop, but what kind of aspects we have to deal with in designing in your workbook, in your screen, especially in 2D. We're not going to deal with 3D or some rendering or some Photoshop 3D Max and so on, that kind of things. Just 2D based drawings. Actually, that is not our major scope in our department as your major, but kind of background and very useful fundamental thing what you have to know. Because take a look at those examples. Those two images are kind of very typical visualization of your design concept, design visualization. For graduation work and for another design studio, for designing this kind of building, visualization, rendering, something like this. This kind of building rendering or some conceptual image can be generated by 3D computer graphics such as SketchUp, Rhino, 3D Max, and so on. But those are components. Also some brain images and some diagram, amount of text, and some 2D given images. All they are components, even including background colors. So how to design this kind of document, how to make it. That's our major topic for today's lecture, okay? So-called layout. Layout in 2D canvas. Just simply think about this as canvas, what to draw. How to draw, some answers we already given using 3D Studio Max, V-Ray renderer using SketchUp. That's kind of answers against how to make this kind of component. But how to allocate, deploy those items, components on the screen, on your canvas. That's the topic right now, okay? So-called layout, how to lay out those components. Okay, we need to know some items, typography, photos or illustrations, void, colors. For what? For effective visualization, effective design presentation. What is effective design presentation? It's supposed to be attractive because we need to bring people's concentration. When you show your design idea, if no one can get into your design idea or your visualization, nobody pays attention to your design presentation, that's not good, of course. So it's supposed to be attractive, readable, beautiful, creative, and memorable. That's fundamental aspects we need to generate in your design presentation in terms of layouting issues, okay? So how to make this possible? How to make your design presentation attractive, readable, creative? There is no specific and correct answers, but I would like to guide you and show you some examples. How to make it readable, memorable, attractive, and so on, using those components, typography, photos or illustrations, void, and colors, okay? Let's take a look at layout system first. Please take a look at your screen for this layout. The first one, grid system. We consume the amount of this kind of media when we read the books or printouts, flyers, and so on in our daily life. Take a look at this book, rectangle shape and divided, and there is a rectangle shape with a red color background. And take a look at this part, another rectangle shape you can draw, right? That is text box. So amount of text written on the book, because this is book textual information, but there is an illustration. So we can simply divide components using some grid lines, okay? Simply say that is block grid, block shape grid. Another example, take a look at this shape. There is a column, another one, third one, and fourth columns, and some horizontal columns also generated. You can draw some more lines, grid lines. Within this grid system, you can make your own grid. It's invisible anyway, but you can visualize it when you see it. So-called column grid. How about module grid? Take a look at this one single module. This is a text box. One text box and another box contains a picture. Another one, a little bit smaller than others, but regularly allocated some modules, right? Another one is quite bigger one compared to others. But anyway, we can draw some grid lines and we can take a look at which one is filled with text or images. But some of them are empty, so-called void spaces. So the void area, empty parts are kind of intentionally made part for kind of visualization and design layouting reason. One of the grid system layout system. How about this? So-called free layout. There is no specific columns you can draw, or there are amount of empty and void space, but you can, if you draw some lines supposed to be kind of curves, right? Splines, not linear. Grid system cannot explain this, the system, layout system of this one. Probably we find out amount of those examples in our daily life in your books or some printouts, whatever. Of course, this one has pros and cons. First one, cons, distracted. It's not easy to focus on what's the topic, what's the major object. But anyway, it's looking interesting. Variations looks very dynamic. Compared to this one, simply it shows the content, or it looks very stable and static because this is rectangle shape and some linear line-based, grid-based layout system. Also, they are looking kind of static, but this one is looking moving around. In other words, very dynamic layout system applied. So that is so-called free layout. Okay, next component for make your design presentation and layout. Another component is typography. Actually, very important thing for your design, for your layout, because simply it delivers messages as a design component in the layout. Whatever you want to say, they should be written in specific written languages. We have to take care of items listed here. Do not include too many text styles. In other words, there are too many different fonts. If you write down your component, your text, your deliverable, your design panel using too many fonts, different style of text, that's going to be looking very noisy or kind of mess. Consistency is another issue when you use this kind of typography. Put emphasis on the readability. Title, main text, caption, they supposed to be different style, different thickness, different font size, even different font. Anyway, you can put your own emphasis on specific thing, probably on title or specific keywords within your document in text. Also, properly made, intentionally made void space also required, because too many text is kind of sometimes it looks very boring. So you intentionally made void spaces, empty spaces, doubled lines will be very helpful. Properly generated lengths and some appropriate text styles. Combinations we need to take care of. Take a look at typography examples. Actually, these examples are kind of graphically used typography examples. Lots of text, only text geometry used for this page design. Nothing, some visual or some graphics, illustration, photos. But anyway, typography itself can be one important part, even the sole and single part of the design component. Take a look at this document. Just simply divided two block system, but different font size, different color, different size, made that kind of visualization. Also, it delivers its own content. I would like to show you one important thing about typography, that is serif. What is serif? Take a look at this red part in the font. Very decorative area within the font. But take a look at this one, sans serif. Sans serif fonts doesn't have those serif. So usually in Korean, we use this kind of font, Gothic font. Differently, serif font is here, and there are amount of examples. At least we can divide two different font style, serif and sans serif. Why that is very important? In general, sans serif fonts for title, okay, and serif fonts for body text. That's our convention, very long-lasting convention. When you see your document, your title in serif, your main body, amount of small fonts with sans serif font, that kind of document will be uncomfortable when you read it. You don't know reason why, but anyway, it looks uncomfortable because it's breaking convention. In a long-lasting human convention, serif serif font gonna be main body text, something like this. Okay. And this is kind of title font without serif, sans serif font. So when you try to make your own documents, reports, your writings, at least you should know what's important in terms of convention. When you use some different fonts, different font style, okay? Next item is photo or illustrations. Simply, they deliver messages not in linguistic way, in graphics way. As an example, take a look at this picture. There is some text, so to read, blah, blah, something. Probably the contents gonna tell something about some readership or some following readers or something like that. And this simple picture will indicates some kind of readership and some dynamically moving on to specific goal or something else. So this kind of simply placed picture or illustration will be very useful and helpful for make your visualization very effective. How about this? We are going to do it in which way? My way. And two hands and fingers, it picks up M and Y, my way. It's not your way, not my parents' way, or some orders, whatever, my way. So simply those given two hands illustration, photo, puts amount of attention and emphasis on the main context, main text. Not in linguistic way. If you simply place just the same font, same word, we are going to do it my way. Very simple, but it's not gonna be attractive, or you cannot pay a little bit more attention. That's not unique and kind of visibly not that interesting. But in this case, that kind of illustration, photo, made this visualization very effective and kind of meaningful. Okay, that's my point here. Next important thing is void, empty space. Beauty of space. Take a look at this document. This is document, full size of the document, but designers, authors intentionally place text box only this part. All other parts intentionally remained white, background, blank. What if the text gonna tell something about loneliness or something like that? In that case, that is designer's intention. Kind of empty and void space, amount of proportion occupied by that empty hole. And also intentionally made pictures and very narrow, vertically, horizontally, narrow down generated text area placed within those pictures, because authors, designers' intention was emphasizing the pictures, not the text. Of course, people want to read the text, they're gonna read, but anyway, the pictures are kind of main item. So intentionally generated a lot of void white spaces used for this layout system. The last one is color. Actually, we're not going to deal with some deeper issues about color system or color code, color convention, and so on. But anyway, no need to say more about the importance of colors, the effect of colors. Hue the term hue means the variation of colors, you know, saturation and the color value. In our lab exercise hours, we're gonna take a look at some similar system using computer software, Photoshop, okay? But anyway, an effective and intriguing component when you use your own design presentation in 2D. Take a look at this document. What is major color? Major color, in this case, yellow, and blue, gonna be certain kind of subcolor. Take a look at these fonts. Flats, also written in yellow font. How about this one? Green is major color, and it's kind of background color. And green-like colors also used for graphics. The sub-accent color gonna be this color, right? So very simple convention. Background, major color, and one or two accent color. And others gonna be similar color for them. That kind of simple combination, base color, major color, as well as one or two accent color will make your graphics stable and effective, also intriguing, interesting, okay? We're going to take a look at some details about that in using Photoshop, by using Photoshop in the lab exercise hours. Let's take a look at some little bit more issues about layout. Layout design principles are here, and I'm going to tell you. And let's take a look at some details using examples. Consistency, variation, balance, and contrast for making your layout and your design visualization effective. We are talking about some effective design presentation using some conventions. So far, in your daily life, you consume this kind of bunch of designs without any criticism or any background knowledge, because you are just consumer for that. But from now on, you could be one of the designers, one of the creators. That means at least you should know why this visualization, why these graphics are effective or not, based upon specific reason, okay? That reason's gonna be this kind of convention. We are talking about some kind of convention. So take a look at this image. In this block grid system, there are some filled colors, red, black, white colors, white color fonts, and some orange color background. But they are looking some variation, still balanced, okay? Two background filled with different colors, but they are looking balanced. Also contrast. Balanced in vertical division, left and right, they are balanced. And horizontal bar also made some balance. Bottom area filled with some text, and upper area filled with some grid or column layout system, and text and figures generated. Even take a look at the color code. They are looking some blue colors as a color convention applied for this. Even in this kind of simple document, okay? Let's take a look at more examples. One-line based layout. One-line-based layout. There is a single line made by that text font, but take a look at this example. One line base and several line base. Actually, lines can be this kind of text lines, but some geometry lines, and amount of lines, short lines, but it's another line in this kind of vertical way. So take a look at this kind of very typical shape and design of cover letter or some covers of a report or whatever. Large size, big fonts, and some subtitle, and your name or affiliation, date, and so on. This kind of design, layout, that is not coincidence. Designers' intention applied for this, making this kind of layout system, okay? One line and one box. The box shape here, simply color gradation applied box. This could be color fill box, but they could be kind of text, okay? Or some different pattern, different picture, photo, or whatever. So this kind of layouting convention and some examples gonna be useful for making your visualization effective. There is no document or design generated by accident. Every single design output, printouts, 2D layouts, 3D graphics, whatever they should be made by some designers' design intention, design concept, okay? So all these layouts, when you consume them in your daily life, hopefully from now on you can take a look at them in kind of based on some knowledge, background, or even criticism, if it's not that attractive or some visually not that good, okay? And you should know how to explain this is effective or not, this is good or not, based upon some rational reason, okay? Several lines, several boxes. I told you before, the boxes here, they could be some geometrical shape box, color fill, or some pictures, or even text lines, something like this. This one also column grid based box, module, and so on. Another design component, okay? So we can easily take advantages of making those components in a single layout system using several components, what I told you in the classroom today: typography, blank space, void, and color fill, color variations in using some layout systems, okay? Several lines and one shape. They are looking certain interesting, but anyway, your own geometric lines or text lines, whatever, can be emphasized by using some specific illustration, specific images that generated by you, probably generated by 3D graphics and so on. Several lines and several shapes. They are looking complicated, but actually they are commonly found in our daily life. Using grid layout system, bunch of components we can find out. Illustration, photo placed in here, and kind of large scale, very emphasized, and typography also used. But take a look at this typography. Same font, but very different scale, very different size, and different colors. But actually, the colors, dark black, and some dark yellow, and light yellow. Not that complicated, because the accent color, or even major color, in terms of designer's intention, it's yellow. So dark yellow and very dark yellow, it comes out kind of black anyway. And conventional black and white also used in this column or grid layout system, okay? Hopefully you can explain the layout system, grid system, what kind of typography convention applied for, something like that. Okay, that's going to be important. Take a look at this free layout. Again, I told you, free layout has pros and cons, especially pros, looking very dynamic and interesting. In this case, red color and black, they are kind of major color and kind of accent color here. So that is why successfully bring your attention, bring readers' attention, but it's not easy to figure out the main content, the main body. There is no specific title or bigger font. We have to take a look at the main contents. But anyway, it's looking dynamic because probably it's the document, this document, this image is probably something about some active sports, outdoor sports, something like that. So designer's intention for this layout is make this content and visualization very active, dynamic, okay? But actually, I would like to put an emphasis on kind of very famous phrase, the simple, the better, because people tend to put amount of technical things for make your visualization. And as a result, your output, your outcome, usually very complicated. But I think the simple, the better. That is why I showed you the simplicity pattern, the video file, 2 weeks ago, I'm not sure. Anyway, now you are a creator, you are a designer, kind of intended to be an interior architecture designer. So now you should understand how design components, design elements, according to the definition of design. According to the definition of design is make some design components. Design components, there are amount of design elements in physical and kind of non-tangible way, virtual ways. The things displayed today, some layout issues, color, void, empty, and typography, and some more specific issues, they're going to be theoretically and practically used in your actual design from today, okay, in lab exercise hours.